Yo, what's good? We back with another Top TV. I'm in the building with fashion designer Will Noel. William Noel.
Yeah, Will Noel. You can call me that. It's all good.
Yeah. Det Fig, short for Detrimental Figures clothing.
Yeah, Detrimental Figures.
Yeah. So, that's fairly new.
Yeah, we just I think I made Detrimental Figures back in 2024 in July. So yeah, I just finally came out with everything, put everything together. I've been having the idea and the thought process of just having a brand since I was maybe 16.
How old are you now?
I'm 24. I just turned 24.
Okay, congratulations.
So I appreciate it. So I always knew it was something I wanted to do. I just was coming up with the name and coming up with like an identity that fit what I wanted to do. You know, a lot of people come up with brands that mean something. Like you could be a street brand that go towards, Cleveland street. You could go towards money. But I just wanted to have something that was able for everybody to come along and be a part of it, and that can be pushed across the world for everybody. So it just took a time to kind of get the name down pat, because, the name got to match the theme and the vision and everything you do. So, I finally put everything together in like 2024, and it's been...
Let me ask you this. What does the name mean to you? So
it's funny. I dropped out of high school when I was 18, my senior year. I didn't drop out just because I was, for grades or anything. I was missing some transcripts from going to Lutheran East at private school. My mom, we was going.
We just spent all this money on private school.
Yeah. I was missing my transcripts, so I either had a choice to either drop out or take another year in school, and I already was working, so that kind of got me into working. I ended up getting my GED.
You did finish school? Yeah,
so I did finish school. So when I was at a interview, I used to do a lot of sales jobs, selling, energy, electricity, different suppliers, door knocking. And the guy, he just looked at me. He was like, "Man, I don't know what it is about you, but you're gifted. Like, it's just your aura, the way you present yourself. We'd love to have you a part of the team." I ended up not taking the job, actually. So it's funny, but I tatted.
You ended up not taking the job?
Yeah, I ended up actually not taking the job, but I ended up tatting gifted on my arm, because I always felt like that was a way to describe myself. I'm different, talented, and gifted. So gifted was always kind of the origination of everything. So then I'm like, okay, well, how can I make it more cooler? Gifted is very basic. It's a simplistic thing. I'm like, okay, well, I seen people use like the word murder and flip it backwards and make red rum and make little songs out of, flipping words backwards. So I'm just like, well, gifted, what's the opposite of gifted? All right, let's put it backwards. So then I spelled it backwards and I came up with Det Fig. I'm like, okay, so what does Det Fig mean? So it's all about not judging the book by its cover.
Det Fig.
Yeah, you assume that's
what that means.
Yeah, you assume that's a negative word. And that's how I came. Well, that's really much how I came up with everything and started everything. Then it branched off to explaining more in depth, like what does Det Fig mean? What does it stand for? I'm like Detrimental Figures, and that's how I ended up coming with the brand and starting everything out.
Okay.
And I made it Detrimental Figures just because of the meaning. I feel like as a kid and throughout my life, people always judged me as a black man. They always thought I was, gonna be in jail. I've never been to jail, or have a record, be a bad influence to others. And I've always just been myself and been true to myself, and not letting people label
stereotype.
Me. Yeah, stereotype and label me. And I feel like I've been stereotyped and labeled my whole life without a chance to really speak up for myself. So I just wanted to make a brand where everybody that felt the way I felt could come along together. I feel like in this world now, with social media especially, if somebody say something about you and a couple people agree, that's kind of what it is. So
that's powerful. Yeah, that's a powerful meaning. You know what I'm saying? For you to, was it a complex thing for you to come up with it? Did it take long?
So me and my brother Dre, we was sitting in it was like summertime. I was in between jobs. I was going to real estate school at the time, and me and my other friend Tanner, he was just like, hey, you got Det Fig, it looked nice, but what does exactly that mean? So then I'm like, all right, so we got to create a meaning for everything to make it real def. And then we came up with Detrimental Figures. It took probably like 60 seconds. We just kept saying words off the top of the dome, and I was like, and my brother Dre said, he's like, Detrimental Figures, and we went through and tried to top that name and that meaning, and we just couldn't. I'm like, yeah, that just sounds too good. We got to run with it, and I've been running with it ever since and creating the meaning for everything, and establishing the brand.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How did you think growing up between two cultures has impacted your design ethic?
I would say coming from an African culture, with my family being from Ghana, we are real big into clothes. You know, they wear a lot of vibrant patterns with their materials. So my father's always been big on dressing me up and having me looking a certain type of way. Even when I was a baby, all my baby pictures I got on Jordans, or I'm looking a certain type of way. I've always been one to be like, you know, one of the best dressed people. So with that, I've always been into fashion and looking a certain type of way and presenting myself a certain type of way. So I always had a knack for it.
Yeah.
And I found myself a lot of times buying like ridiculous stuff, like spending $500 on a shirt. Like, why am I doing this? I don't even know who made this shirt. I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
look good.
I'm just trying to look good, and I'm spending my hard-earned dollars on a shirt that probably costs $15 to make, and I don't have no knowledge of it. So I'm just like, okay, well, if I'm gonna be paying all this money for clothes, I might as well make my own brand, and I might as well have a brand that means something for everybody. I feel like I'm a great leader, so I feel like it'd been, the best thing to have me in the position to lead others and be true and genuine with everything.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. How does your design encourage individuals to embrace their true selves?
Yeah, I would feel like my designs, they would encourage individuals to be themselves and to not feel like it's something wrong with who they really are. If you have flaws, I feel like it's nothing wrong with having flaws and having, stuff about you that you need to improve on. But I think it's better off when you're authentic. I pride myself on being authentic. I'm going to always be me, no matter who likes it or who don't like it. But they'll never know that, hey, Will doesn't like me, but he's smiling in my face. Like, I'm not that type of person. So I've always been authentic, and I want everybody else to be authentic.
Right.
So Detrimental Figures and, creating everything is just really imploring everybody to be their self, to bring into their self and their true gifts. I feel like everybody has a gift, a God-given gift. You have a God-given gift. Just sitting here, listening, talking, being able to ask the correct questions, and being able to be marketable. The same for everybody else. So just having everybody tap into their gifts and doing the right thing as far as with God and their God-given talents.
Can you tell us about your first sample and the reception it received?
Yeah.
And what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, my first sample was my pink tracksuit. My pink tracksuit sold out. So I originally got a sample. It was funny. So I feel like I was one of the first people to start. I forgot his name. I think it was an older guy. He started.
Cameron?
Cameron started pink. But I feel like I really.
Well, he ain't start. He ain't start pink. He kind of made it fashionably cool to wear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But in the hip hop genre, in the urban area.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure people didn't wear pink on Easter, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But he dressed up. He had the fur. He had the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? He looked at urban with it.
Yeah. So I was always deciding on what
Shout out to Cameron.
Shout out to Cameron. I was always deciding on what color I was gonna do and if I was gonna do something basic, simplistic. So when I came out with my first design, I was like, what's a color that I don't really see people wearing that'll really peak, and I decided to go with pink. So I'm like, okay, well, pink, it's gonna stand out. It's just gotta look good. So I ordered it. It came in the mail. I was so excited. I probably threw it on. I went to the the art museum down there. And I went there, I snuck my tripod in, set my tripod up. I took some pictures. I took them all by myself. I usually take all my pictures by myself up until like now where I got to get a cameraman for everything. So I took my pictures by myself. I posted them, and then it blew up from there. Everybody wanted one. Everybody thought it was cool, stylish. And then I ended up selling it. March 2024 is when I started selling clothes. So I had that sample back in November. It took some time to put everything together. Ended up selling it. It sold out. And it went really well. So,
did you design it? You designed it yourself and everything?
Yeah.
Like, cut it out and, you know what I mean? So it's more digital now, I know. But.
Yeah, so pretty much I stopped making my design. I stopped doing every little, like, detail as far as my design up until the January of last year. I had a purple hoodie. Well, not January, April of last year, I dropped on purple hoodies. That was my last time fully designing, like, everything from scratch. Yeah. Now I got a designer where I just explain everything in depth of what I want. So,
and they put it together.
And they put it exactly together how I want it, taking different inspirations. I do a lot of, like, research on the market, what's trending, what's not. I do a lot of comparing to all the other brands. And
never been to fashion school.
Never been to fashion school in my life. I don't even know they have fashion school. Never been to fashion school.
Design, you know what I mean? Yeah. Design design because this hoodie is got a lot of detail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? They got rhinestones around the hood. They got rhinestones around the pocket. You know, you got the fire symbol right there with the rhinestones. Then you got the patch, and then you got the writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom.
Yeah, it's a lot of details on it, but the key part is it's not image. It's not anything to really judge or look at. It's just a lot of. In reality, it's really just a lot of words. So I feel like it was because if you look at some of my older designs, they were complex. It was like you didn't understand what you were looking at. It might have been like a negative looking image, but you wouldn't know how to depict that. So I'm like, okay, well, I could just water down the design. And with me watering down the design, it came out with this. So it was pretty simple for me.
Hey, we going to come back with William Noel. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Detrimental Figures. We be back.
Made it available to everybody. So this is that small project I did in mass, and if people apply themselves under my leadership, a lot of people gonna win. But I really need serious students, and it was just like I learned it was bigger than me when I started winning people cases, because there's nothing like another case. I was in the lunchroom and the warden came surrounded me. I'm eating lunch with my guys. And he said, Jermaine, I want to thank you. And he was like, this lady just called our office crying. Her son won. And it was just like those little bitty moments.
Yo, we back with fashion designer, clothing enthusiast, Will Noel, Detrimental Figures. Fashion is a power statement, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all over the world. Yeah. They dedicate a week to fashion, you know what I mean? Yeah. For every year. They do it in New York. I think it's New York, Miami, Houston, some of the major cities. Do you ever see that? Do you ever think that your clothing will make the runway? Or are you looking to even do something like that?
I feel like I want to stay in my lane as far as with my clothing. Right now I'm making, luxury streetwear. So if it's I have a couple pop-up shops I haven't announced yet that I'm doing in different cities. I'm going to Houston spring break, and then I'm going down to Atlanta for Easter. So I really plan on doing like a lot of my own events or pop-up shops. As far as fashion shows, if it's something that fits my niche, then I'll be down for it. But I feel like everything got to make sense for the brand. I can't just be
just willy-nilly.
Just willy-nilly trying to do everything. That's a part of keeping the image of what I got going right now.
Yeah. How did you overcome challenges that came with dropping out of school and living independently?
I just have a great connection with God. I'm very tapped in with the Lord. I thank the Lord for everything. I'm a very confident person. I feel You know, I feel my confidence through my blood, and with the Lord, I just try to pray. It's a lot of stuff that I can't control that I have been through, but just perseverance. And, you know, every day I try to say, what can I be doing better as a man? What can I be doing better as a son? What can I be doing better as a big brother? And just going there and trying to improve my brand, improve my business, knowing what I want for my life. You know, I don't want to live a regular life. So if I don't want to live a regular life, what do I have to do?
Can't do regular things.
Yeah, I can't do regular things. So I got to, you know, create a business, start a way, figure out everything from there. So just, you know, praying and just having the right mindset, being positive about everything. I'm never negative. I'm never thinking, you know, like it's the end of the world. I just always try to figure everything out.
Facts. Yeah. What role do you believe storytelling plays in fashion, especially for your brand?
I feel like storytelling is essential because people got to understand where everything came from and feel a part of it. You know, when they, I feel like everybody should feel a part of what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm just like everybody else. I'm from Cleveland. I'm trying to make it, and everybody has a story to tell. I feel like your story isn't going to matter unless you make it to where you're supposed to be. So just telling a story and being able to have people come along to feel the same way I felt. If you ever felt misjudged, misunderstood, people, you know, talking about you and saying stuff that's not true about you, family members looking at you a certain type of way, or, you know, ashamed of you, and just that feeling of, you know, rejection, and turning that into being motivated to take your life to the next level. I feel like I've always been motivated to take my life to the next level. I take everything personal, honestly. I'm kind of like a maniac with it. You know, I my biggest critic, even though I'm very confident in myself. But yes, I think storytelling is just a part of it, because you got to understand, this is a good piece. Yeah, it looks nice, but what does this stand for?
What's behind it?
What's behind it, you know. So.
How do you approach the creative process when designing a new piece for Detrimental Figures?
I feel like creating a new piece comes down to what vibe I'm going for. Last year, I dropped 9 different pieces. So I made 9 different designs. They all sold out. So I've just got a feel for what Cleveland and what everybody likes. Not even necessarily Cleveland, but, you know, I could be a little flashy, but somebody else might not want to wear something like that. So just finding that real good in-between area of creative, nice design, but also simplistic, so if nobody feels like they're, you know, it's out of their age group or anything like that. I feel like it's
because you want to sell to all
I want to sell
age groups,
all age groups, all, you know, culture backgrounds, everybody. I feel like everybody.
Do you think that is a issue in because, you know, you got the guys Let's Wrap It Up, or the Wrap Up podcast with Jim Jones and Mano and Fabulous, and they was kind of coming down on them because they was like, "Oh, y'all dressing young, this and that, whoopty whoopty whoop." And it's like, do you think that it's an age bracket where you like? Okay. I couldn't wear this hoodie, and
nah,
you know
I would think
I couldn't rock this hoodie set because I'm in a certain age range. Like, I don't. Come on now.
I think, you know, if you 75, that's a difference. But everybody got their own way of looking at stuff. You know, people, I mean, you might be in your 40s and might look 25, you know. Yeah. So a lot of people, it just depends on who they are and their vibe and how you style and how you wear it. If you look old and feel old, and then you try to, you know, wear something that then this might not be for you. It might not be for you.
He wear them young people clothes.
It might not be for you. So,
in a world where perception can be misleading, how do you communicate your brand's message effectively?
Yeah, so I communicate my brand's message effectively just by constantly explaining the meaning. You hear Detrimental Figures, you might think, oh man, he got some gothic brand, and you know, they're promoting the wrong thing. But in reality, my brand is all about getting to a point where we're having a real impact on the youth, doing the right thing with your money and doing the right thing within your community. I feel like far too many times a lot of us have a lot, or, you know, brag about having a lot, but we're not doing nothing for nobody. So what's the purpose of having everything if you can't take care of your people or take care of somebody else?
Yeah.
So
how do you want your customers to feel when they wear Detrimental Figure clothes?
I want them to feel like they got on some of the flyest, nicest stuff in the city, because it is. Because it is,
baby.
I mean, I really truly believe in my work. I think you could go back the last 15, 20 years at any, you know, brand that got hot and died off, got hot and stayed. I pay attention to every, you know, serious popping clothing brand in Ohio, and you could compare my work to anybody work. I think what I got stands up, and I really believe in what we're doing. So I feel like everybody should feel very proud when they put their suit on, as this is going to be a unique piece. It's a part of a beautiful story. You know, and I'm from the city, so I feel like everybody should feel a part of it. Like, hey, this is something that made it to this level, and it's from the city. I got it first. I seen it first before in the beginning stages, and now it's
here. On a worldwide level right now. You know, and that always keeps the foundation there, and people able to like really resonate with the brand, because they like you said, I came in on the ground floor. I know this guy when he was making his sketches in his living room.
Yeah. Now
he in a factory. He got factories all over the world.
Yeah. It's funny. I joke about it all the time. I used to send my brother Faison. I used to send him sketches all day. I used to literally blow his phone up. I'm like, hey bro, this look good. What you think of this? This look, and he's not even a fashion person. He like simplistic stuff. He's not buying designer. He maybe has bought, you know, one hoodie that's designer his whole life. So he'd get tired of me. Like, man, I don't know. Eventually, I done sent him like 20 designs, and now it's done got to a point where I don't even tell nobody when I'm working on something, or I don't even got to question it. Like everybody just automatically, oh yeah, that's good, Will, that's good.
Because you found your niche basically when you made your first 9 pieces and they all sold out. How many pieces did you sell when you sold out?
Like total?
Yeah.
Probably like I keep a pretty low inventory, or I kept a pretty low inventory last year, because last year it was probably about 500 shirts maybe.
Low, dang low.
It's pretty low. If you count the whole year and break up, you know. So I would say I try to keep a low inventory, just because with shirts and where I was at in the beginner stages, and you know, if you want to start your own clothing brand, you could take this nugget from me. I wanted to spam different designs to figure out what worked and what didn't work. So I wasn't really trying to get 1 million shirts, because at the same time, I'm about to do a completely different design next month.
I ain't gonna get a million in the same shirt.
Yeah, so it just, you know, it came down to that, just making different designs and being able to know what's gonna sell and what's not gonna sell.
Now, what's the process on as far as the manufacturing of the brand?
Yeah, that's a lot. I do a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people really don't know, as far as communicating. I have over like 15 different vendors. I communicate on WhatsApp, Alibaba. I probably get 100 messages a day on my Instagram.
You on it all right now?
Trying to message, So, but contacting the vendors and being able to know and make trustworthy relationships with them, you know, communicating with people in the other country is a little bit of a risk. That's always, I tell anybody that.
Yeah, because you'll never know if they're gonna rip you off.
Yeah, because they got the ability to. You know, your money is sent, it's gone. So. Just communicating, and I do a lot of networking. I DM people all day. I send my stuff out. I go into barbershops. I hand out business cards. Like,
you had to build that trust.
Yeah, I had to build that trust, and my consistency is there. Every time you look up, I'm probably making a new video or a new sketch. So and doing that on social media, but also working in the backgrounds and meeting people in real life and showing them what it is, what the brand stands for, and just getting their feedback and getting better. You know, if I'm constantly pitching a brand to somebody, I hear all the rebuttals, I hear all the questions, I hear all of the concerns,
all the feedback.
So all the feedback, and you know, people are going to be real with you. So, especially if you like a stranger just walking up and asking them. So.
Yeah, like, what's it? No, that ain't hot, or that's hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so definitely so.
Either it's hot or it's not. You know, coming up in, because I grew up in the same neighborhood. The Glenville community. Was your mind there? You said 16. Your mind was on fashion design.
Yeah, I don't know. So I was.
How did you different. How did you? Because you was in private school and everything like that. Yeah.
I went to private school for a year. I grew up in between 105 and 84th, like my whole life. So I was always around that area, but as a child, I was never into the, you know, what everybody else was into, the violence, the gun. I was always trying to hoop. You know, that's at least how I thought it was. A lot of people tell their childhood stories a little differently, but I thought everybody was hooping when we was kids. So we was playing basketball, having a good time, but I always knew, like, I didn't want to go down the wrong path in life. Mm-hmm. So I just had to figure out. And once I started seeing myself get in certain situations and overcoming things, I'm like, okay, well, I'm a little different than everybody else because the next person would have start selling drugs or would have cut corners here and there to avoid a situation and then would have got themselves in jail. But I just use my brain to get myself out of situations, and always, even if I got into it with people, or I just always figured it out.
Man, it ain't even really worth.
Yeah,
going down that road for real.
I feel like if you're not gonna really take it all the way to life or death,
no point.
It ain't no point even talking about it. So but I feel like I think a lot of people want to keep a certain persona, but I know everybody around me respect me and know who I am and understand how I
gotta
go
put
about
on
business.
no facade.
Yeah, how I go about business.
What's the most rewarding part of building your brand so far?
I would say just people coming up and talking to me, and people come up to me all the time, say, "Hey man, I love what you're doing. It's a pleasure to meet you." I have people chasing me down on where you're dropping.
You got that fanfare.
Yeah,
right now.
when you're dropping, what's going on, Will? And I just be I'll be like, man, this is crazy.
I mean, did you ever do people just stare at you sometime because you got the brand? You like, why is people looking at me?
I'm pretty used to it. You would be surprised. A lot of people come up and talk to me, and I just act like I knew them my whole life. So I kind of know how to play it. So somebody, hey, Will, I met you in school. I might not even know who they is, but I'm gonna still talk. I'm not gonna make you feel insecure or weird for coming up and talking to me because I feel some type of way. Somebody looked at me like I was.
I'm
crazy.
A celeb now, baby. You know what I'm saying? Fashion to the stars. Are there any fashion influencers or role models that inspired you throughout your journey?
Not really. I would say I don't kind of pay attention to nobody specifically or watching them. I just see what everybody methods of marketing is, method of growing. Yeah. I've always paid attention to VCN, Awkward in Public. I've always asked. Like I said, I do a lot of networking. So everybody with a clothing brand, they've talked to me before. Yeah. Anybody with a serious clothing brand, 9 times out of 10, we done had a conversation. I done chopped it up with them. So I pick people brains and just ask them, especially in my beginner stages, like, hey, what did you do? What should I work on? What can I do with this? Even if, and a lot of people, if I'm being honest, they don't want to give a lot of help or
they be gatekeeping. I was just about to ask
they be gatekeeping. People is, especially in Cleveland, I feel like that's a large part of why we're behind, because everybody kind of want to be the man. Nobody want to help nobody be the man, or it's not like a culture thing. Like the way I look at it is like, hey, if I get everybody to wear this suit as a city, we gonna look more up or more, just kind of more so on like an Atlanta level. Like right now we're a little behind. Atlanta is like the streetwear capital of America. So yeah, that's pretty much how I looked at it. But a lot of people, they wouldn't, give me a lot of details, but I could just still pay attention and watch you. So I'll just watch everything you do, how you post, what days you post, how many different drops you do.
Yeah, I really ain't gotta really ask you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could, like you say, I could just watch your moves.
Yeah, I'm very observant. I pay attention to everything what everybody does.
And now, since you ain't want to help me out, you like I'm biting. But it's just like, I asked you though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, so. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly those marginalized background? I
would say advice is everybody need an LLC. If anybody paying attention or watching this, I know a lot of y'all that got hair businesses, lawn care, lawnmower, and nobody has no type of LLC or documentation. I think everybody need to have a paperwork, especially in the black community or any community.
Get that bank account,
get that business bank account, get that loan, and just going through it the right way and not shooting yourself in the foot. I think the biggest thing is just having perseverance. A lot of people give up because they give up on themselves. I refuse to do that. I tell everybody that I meet, I know you probably done seen people that was popping in the city before or had something going on, then they fizzled out. Like that had never happened to me. I just refuse to let something like that happen. I work too hard. Yeah, I work too hard to just give up on myself. I'm gonna either die failing, I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna go out swinging. Like it ain't no
nothing
else. Yeah, like this who I am. This what I
gotta do.
Ain't
no plan B.
Yeah, this what I gotta do.
You know what I mean? What challenges do you face as a luxury streetwear brand in today's market?
Just having people trust what they're buying. People would see my stuff and be like, "Whoa, that's expensive," but if you look at Polo,
it's quality though.
Yeah, you look at something else,
it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's good quality. You can wash it a whole bunch of times, and nothing's not gonna look crazy or mess up on you. So just getting people to buy into the product and what I'm selling, it'd be a lot easier if I wanted to go and be like, hey, I'm gonna make a Cleveland sports brand. So every time I got the Cavs, the Indians, the Browns, and I'm selling it outside the Browns stadium, and that's cool. I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna get some people to wear it. But what's the ceiling to that? So that's where my mindset was always with luxury streetwear, because yeah, it's good to have a brand that makes money or everybody in your city wearing it, but that's really not nothing for real. If you really look at it from a super wide microscope of how the world views you and what you have done in the world. So I've always knew it had to be kind of like a luxury streetwear just because of the high ceiling that it provides compared to like some other brands. So yeah.
What other brand would you consider a luxury streetwear brand?
Essentials, Hellstore, Amiri, Palm Angels, Balenciaga. That's all the realm of where I'm trying to take my brand to.
Do you see it? You see it going into any stores anytime?
Yeah, we are in the store. We're at Skin Deep, located on Superior.
Okay.
We
Shout
got
out to Corkscrew.
Yeah, we out there. But I see a couple other places I'm working on. A lot of people want some of the stuff I got now, so I got to let all the orders sell and then order some to be put in the store. I'm working to get it some in some stores in Houston and just have like different places across the globe. It's not like really super targeted towards Cleveland, but this is where we gonna grow and build from. So
this the home base.
Yeah, it's home base. So I got no choice but to attack Cleveland and go at all the brands and try to outcompete and outwork them. So that's where that's how my mindset is.
Hey, we gonna come back with Will Noel. Make sure y'all stay tuned to this Top TV. You already know.
What happened to our stars? So they usually mess their own stuff up. They usually something they fall like. I feel like everybody could be doing a little bit better. Like Doughboy, he hit his climax. Like everybody hitting they peak, and they just come down. So it's like
you just gotta. I feel like you just gotta keep working though. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a lot to do with people just being satisfied that they that popping person in the city, and they can't see outside and view past like the whole entire world, how the whole world.
Because people was coming down on old Dope Beezy, man, saying he's a gatekeeper and this and that. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself like, how can he stop anybody from doing anything that they want to do? Like, I don't feel like nobody can stop me from doing what I want to do. They could put a bad word in to say, don't work with me. But eventually, people going to see that it don't matter what they talking about. because I'm outside just like they is. Now it's your choice to make a decision like, well, no, I'm not going to work with them anyway because I'm on this side of the fence. Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, I end up running into people. Boom, stick the mic in their face. What's up? Let's do the interview. Or you need marketing, or you need a visual done, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like the more consistent you is, the more you have a chance to work with whoever. Yeah, and make your own way. People like, man, he gatekeep. I'm like, man, how? Like, how can he stop? How is he stopping anything?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
a lot of people just be envious.
It's like, because he not champion what you got going on. Well, he ain't get behind it. All right, that don't mean he's stopping nothing.
Yeah, I feel like my mindset has always been, you gonna see me. So I really could care less.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna find you, and when I find you, I'm gonna put this in your face, and you gonna like it, and then we gonna be cool after that. So
flat out.
So that's how I always be. I be very. I never been like a groupie or like a thirsty type of person. When I talk to rappers or people that's popping, I keep the same. I talk to them just like I'm talking to you or anybody else on the street. Like, this is what I do.
I ain't super fanned out. I might be a fan, but I'm not fanned out.
Not even a fan. I feel like we all business. Everybody got to come together, and I feel like if somebody, just like you got a platform, I got a brand, we come together because coexist and make business. I feel like that's how that's how you got to look at it. So people just be having like they pride put in it. Yeah. But that's, like I said, something I'm good at. I could put my pride to the side, talk to anybody. It's not really no big of a deal to me. So.
It ain't, man. How do you balance? How do you balance personal expression with the commercial aspect of running a brand?
It's hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard because I tried my best not to show anything about my personal life. Yeah. If I didn't have a clothing brand, I probably wouldn't be on social media or like that. I'm just not. With the how everybody is, especially in our city, it's a lot of drama, it's a lot of messy stuff going on. So I don't really be with that, but I just try to post my brand as much as possible. I feel like
social media strictly for business.
Yeah, strictly for business. I feel like it's gotten to the point where people only watching me for my brand. Like it used to be.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah, it used to be like people came for me or whatever I had going on, but then it got to a point where it's like, hey, where's the brand at, Will? Like. I'm like, okay, I like this, so now I can just post a brand all day. So that's all I really do. I try my best to keep my personal life out of it.
Definitely got to, man, because that's co-mingling, as they would say.
Definitely co-mingling.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What are the long-term goals for Detrimental Figures, both creatively and culturally?
Long-term goals, right now I plan on really just getting as many suits and people faces as possible right now, but long term I would say just putting some locations across the world. I don't know if I would ever. I'm considering having
major.
Yeah, I'm considering having a store in the city, probably somewhere like Mayfield, somewhere nice, a little bit, a little safer. Yeah. But more so than anything, I want to just have my designs all over the world. So having in stores in California, Florida. Yeah. I'm not really just only targeting Cleveland. If I was to, I do think I am going to end up having a store open up within the next 2 years based off just how everything's trajecting right now. Just because I got to have somewhere to put all the stuff I'm about to get. So,
all this inventory.
So
man.
Yeah, I got to, yeah, so that's really the biggest thing. But I just want to continue to scale my business. I'm not one person that is in it for the money at all. That's one thing I guarantee you. I could care less if I make $1. This is my passion. This is what I do. And this is what I'm going to continue doing. I feel like the Lord blessed me with these talents, and I'm just acting through him and doing the best thing for myself. So, yeah.
Man, you got to take your hat off to a person like Will who, like you say, he's doing it for the passion. He's doing it for the love of what he loves to do. Of course, we want to make money, and it's about finance and business and everything like that. But when you're passionate about something and you feel good about doing what you do, it's a different feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you going into clothing and you going in it with the mindset of making money, you never gonna succeed, because there's gonna be times where nobody don't buy nothing you selling, and you gonna be hurt. You done spent. It done happened to me. I done spent $2,000 on a drop, 3 weeks out. Nobody ain't bought nothing. All right, so what are you doing wrong? You gonna just give up? You gonna, oh man, this not. Now you gotta get out in the street. Like, okay, if somebody not gonna buy it online, let's go on the street, put it in people's faces. Let's get their reaction. What you don't like about this? It's this, or I like it. I'll buy it. Yeah. Now you getting sales in person, and you would have thought, oh man, I can't even get sell nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about being versatile. more so than anything.
It's like with my all natural brand right here, my Energy, the more natural brand. I got the candles, I got the soaps, I got the body oils, body butters, things like that. And so,
nice.
Thank you. And so people, you know, we in this office space, and so people kind of, they got products and things like that. But me, I'm in the lobby. You know, I got my table set up in the lobby. You know, boom. I'll take the whole inventory down in the lobby. I'll set up, boom, and I'll make me X amount of $100 because I'm not just sitting on my hands. Yeah. A lot of people like to have an idea. I got a business just to say that they got a business.
Yeah, for sure.
But they don't do the business. You know, because product not just gonna move itself. You got to actually put it in people's face in order for it to move. You know what I mean? Some people get lucky and it just moves like that, but you know, you still want to get out and have camaraderie with the customer. Yeah. You know, that's just my experience on moving product every day almost.
I would say business and the way I look at my brand as far as how me personally, how I look at just money, life, is just like a way to branch off into other things. So right now I'm building my brand up. Everybody's seeing me, seeing my, you know, my journey and where I'm at. Now I'm going to get into the point where I start educating people like, hey, all right, so I've gotten to this level in life. You starting off, you want to clothe the brand, you want to get to like where I'm at. I could teach you step by step and going through and consult you and have, you know, resources, vendors, people that design websites and be able to really put you on another level compared to the people around you that don't have these resources that I have. So I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start educating people and being really, because like I said, Cleveland is a city where people want to be the man, not be a part of a team. So in that scenario, I could just teach everybody how to be the man. And I feel like that's just all stemmed from me starting this business, being around the right people and networking, and now it's different avenues of money. You're not going to ever get rich off of one stream of income.
Do you think that your family upbringing, like with your dad, was kind of that entrepreneurship was kind of
Yeah, definitely. If you know my dad, you know, he get money and he going to always hustle. And I've always seen him doing stuff like selling cars, cutting hair, fixing hot water tanks, working on buying houses, selling houses, running a bar. Like he always was doing something. Like my father, he might have not always been around as far as like with me every day on like, you know, a sitcom type of dad type of thing. But I knew of my father. I knew he was working. If I needed something, he took care of me. So I always had that, you know, that respect for him. As a dad, because everybody around me, they didn't have a father. I was the only person. I used to feel special, you know, in the hood. Like I was the only kid in the hood with a dad. Like my dad used to come down and he used to get us all together and we used to go play AAU basketball back when I had my basketball dreams. We used to go play AAU. So just that, being able to do that, taking 8 kids and taking them somewhere and running a team, like just being able to do that, it just, you know, shows a lot as far as entrepreneurship. So,
and finally, Will, what message do you hope to convey through your work, and how do you want to be remembered in the fashion industry?
In the fashion industry, and what message I want to convey, I just want everybody to continue to be themselves. And I want people to believe, and I want to have people grow and gain their confidence within themselves over time. I want to make clothes that make you feel good, make you feel like you looking good, and really, I think your confidence and your mental level, more so than anything, is a big impact on your life. How you feel about yourself and how you view your life is a big indicator on how your life is going to go. So I just want to be able to get people to be more comfortable being in their skin, get people more comfortable helping out in the community, get, you know, all these people that's in the city that got money, like, okay, if everybody got money, let's go and feed the homeless. Let's go and take care of people. Let's go and do the right thing with our money, and just being the person that's leading that. As I just announced I'm donating 5% of all my profit to charities. So I'm gonna have three charities kind of picked out.
Talking about selfless, and I ain't making millions yet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have 3 charities picked out that's going towards like youth development more than anything. Like that's the biggest, I feel like, as a community, no matter your race, no matter where you're coming from, youth development, you should understand how essential that is. Our kids is going to be the one that take care of the world in the future. So if we're getting them in the right position to get businesses started and know what they're doing and know how to develop their life and go about life, I feel like that's going to have a better result on the world. So
facts.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
You know, just telling us about your brand and, bringing some foresight on fashion and everything like that. Make sure y'all stay tuned to inspirational shows like this with Will Noel, Detrimental Figures. Until next time, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. We out, man. God bless y'all. All right. Appreciate you.
Yeah.